So we're gonna do 2 different ribbons. You can do just 1 ribbon. I'm doing 2 different ones just to give it a little bit of a different look, kind of an ombre look. So my first ribbon I cut to 1.5 yards, and my second ribbon I cut to a little under 1 yard. So I've done a little bit more than what I necessarily need, just because it's easier to do more and cut it down than to not have enough and need more. So what we're gonna do with our ribbon, and you can also, this is satin ribbon, double face. You can also use a grosgrain ribbon, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut triangles and make a jagged edge into the ribbon. You can cut the triangles using your scissors and then using a lighter to seal your edges, or you can also use a wood burning tool and you can cut and seal your edges at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's why I have this. This is just a frame, and it's got the glass, which makes it easy to cut the ribbon on with the wood burning tool. And you can also use a cookie sheet is another good thing to use. I really like this one because I've got the measuring in it, so if I ever just need to cut a bunch of ribbon, it measures it for me. So really quickly, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. And so depending on how you want your flower to end up looking, you can do smaller spikes or bigger spikes, or closer together spikes or wider spikes. It just depends on the look you're going for. So if you get closer together, then it kind of gives it a totally different look than if the spikes are a little bit farther away. So I'm going to do kind of lower. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because once we go on to the next step, you won't even really notice if they're exactly the same size. You just want to make sure that they are, you are able to take them out. You can go ahead and do that throughout the whole length of the ribbon. And then if you have problems getting it off, you can just take your scissors and just snip in the places that didn't completely come apart. And then if you need to go back over it, you can either do it with the wood burning tool or just a lighter, and make sure that all the ends are sealed. That's how it's gonna look. So go ahead and do the same thing with your ribbon. And also, if you're doing 2 different colors, do it with all of your ribbon. So we're all done with doing our jagged edges, and now we're going to do a running stitch at the bottom of our ribbon. So take your needle and your thread, make sure you have a knot in the end, and then going through the ribbon, just do a running stitch going in and up, and then when you run out of room, you just push it through and pull it all the way through to the end of your thread. But you just keep going all the way down. As you're going along, you just gather up, pull it all the way tight, and then kind of see, like, okay, I definitely want more than this, so I'm going to keep going. But if you have the amount that you want, you can say, okay, I'm good here, and then you just take a couple stitches and cut off the excess. So I'm just going to keep continuing doing this running stitch all the way down the end. So I just went through the last one. So I'm going to just, depending on how tight you want it to be, you can leave it super tight, or spread it out a little bit. This is the part where you would do that. Kind of spread it out evenly. Once you've got it spaced out how you want it to be spaced out, we're just going to take the end and then take a couple stitches between the last couple spikes and just secure the thread. All right, and then what we have here, we can start making part of our flower. But first I'm gonna do my needle and thread on this piece. So for that littler piece, I took both ends, you can see right there, and I brought them together and then stitched it closed. And then take some of the, so you can see on the bottom how they're all going the same way, and then just bring some of them up towards the center. Some of those spikes can go up towards the center. It kind of gives it that look in the middle. So for our bottom piece though, we got to put this together, and taking your felt circle, have that handy, and your glue gun handy. And so I'm gonna start with the center of my flower. So starting here, just slowly wrapping it around and gluing. So you just put a little bit of glue and then wrap, and then just a little bit more glue, and keep going around. I kind of want to do a wider, like coming on the outside and not so much underneath, so it's like this really tall flower but more of a wider flower. So I'm just making all my points come out the same way. Okay, and then place hot glue on your felt circle. And then we're going to place our flower on top. And if you need to glue it down more, like this is hanging out over here and you want it to be over here, just put some glue on right there and bring it down. So now if you were just doing one color, then you would kind of do this middle a little bit differently, make sure it's really down in there so the spikes are coming up. And so we've got this one coming on now, so we want to make sure that that's all going in down there as well. So putting hot glue in the center of that flower. You can also put a really cute gem in there if you want. We're going to place this in that center. And you can pull it apart right here, adding more. You just go on all sides and do the same thing. All right, so once you're done, then you take your spikes and just fluff them up how you want them to be. If you want to add it to a clip, it's a super easy way. You just take your clip, put it on top of another felt circle, and then place hot glue all the way around your felt circle in the center. And then taking your flower, just turn it over and put the felt circles together. And this sandwiches in that clip. And that finishes the super, super cute spiky flower.